Hey guys, what's happening? Another call this week with Jimmy. So back for e-commerce marketing chats. I think this is number six. So we're on a roll.
Number one podcast in the world.
yeah, yeah. We're
That's what they
not
say,
we're
right?
we're not quite giving Joe Rogan a run for his money quite yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Number
So
one e-commerce chats in the world. There we go. We'll claim that. So,
yeah,
yeah, another week of e-commerce chats. So, we're kind of just brainstorming what we're going to chat about. And I think on my mind for client stuff this week was increasing average order value. So I want to talk about little things that we're looking at to do that. I also want to talk about different traffic sources and who should be using what at kind of what stage of the journey they're at too. So I'll cover a bit of that too. And yeah, Charles, what's on the plate for you to have a chat about tonight? Anything in particular, or are we going to roll with it, or
yeah.
what's on the cards?
This is going to be mainly for larger scale e-commerce stores. I touched on Black Friday kind of SEO and what you could be doing last week.
Hmm.
But having worked with one of my larger scale clients, I want to kind of discuss where you're gonna like how you're gonna be able to execute kind of more of a larger scale Black Friday SEO strategy, especially when you've got like thousands of products. So that's one of the particular things that I wanted to talk about today. And then I was kind of doing a little bit of research into Amazon and what they're doing, and they're, they've been testing out a chatbot called Rufus
Oh,
over
really?
the last 7 months. Yeah, so like a kind of AI shopping experience chatbot. So it might be worth, a discussion just to go through potentially what's out there. And how I always say, like, as we've talked about in the past, it's always worth looking at the biggest e-commerce retailer in the world and taking inspiration from Amazon and seeing what you can apply to your own store.
Yeah, my mind went as soon as you said that. I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a Shopify app where you can just talk to a chatbot and tell you what you want, and it just takes you directly to that product on the website. Because
Sure, they probably.
we're always looking for ways to minimize the amount of clicks that people have to make to be able to find the product that they want. That would be a cool product if you had a chatbot and you literally said, "Hey, I'm looking for this particular product," or I work with a lot of supplement stores, so it's like, "Hey, I need some supplements for muscle relaxants." So, and it just said, "Here's the product, like magnesium tablets. This is the one we recommend. Here it is." Like that would be a really cool chatbot. I'm sure something like that exists. I haven't looked at it. I haven't even looked at it, but maybe yeah, maybe if you're going down the chatbot route, especially for like SEO, yeah, if something like that pops up, maybe bring it to us next week, maybe.
Yeah. Well, like, I think anything that can improve the customer experience and keep people on the site longer. As we know, the attention span is getting smaller and smaller when people are searching, and anything that's going to guide people through the customer journey is going to be valuable. So,
I
um,
agree. And we're always, this is one of the things we're constantly discussing from a conversion rate optimization point. How can we get the customer where they need to go in the least amount of clicks possible? I have read stats. I can't remember the exact percentages off the top of my head, but for every additional click that a customer has to take, there's a small percentage that will drop off. So if you can reduce the amount of clicks it takes to get somewhere to where they need to go to find what they're looking for, yeah, mainly to find the product that they're looking for. If you can reduce the amount of clicks that it's taking to get there, then every click that you are able to reduce that, you're going to have less people dropping off your site. So, yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind. But yeah, just when you mentioned chatbot, then an e-commerce shopping experience type chatbot, that's what popped into my head. Oh, how cool would it be to not click anything and just talk to this bot and tell it what you want, and then it presents the product to you?
yeah, for sure. And I mean, I read a stat that actually suppose that people prefer to kind of engage with these chatbots more than they would someone, a customer representative who's kind of answering questions. Having said that, that was on a website that was that was a chatbot, so probably a little bit biased there. They did their own research and said 65% of people prefer to use an AI chatbot versus talking to
it sounds a bit like the stat that I think we mentioned last week that I've seen in a few ads going around, that 70% of people prefer to use TikTok search over Google, which I called it last week and I'm going to say it again this week. Absolute BS.
Well, yeah, I'm seeing the same, Jimmy. Like it's when you look into the data, like, and you see where the traffic and the sales are coming from.
12 to 13-year-olds, maybe that age bracket, but definitely not on a larger.
No, I mean
a larger scale.
It's certainly. I think it's certainly scaling, isn't it? I mean, they're definitely
it's growing rapidly.
But you're right; it's nowhere near at the scale of Google traffic acquisition. Not 100%. Yet, anyway.
Cool. What was the first thing? Let's talk. Let's carry on from Black Friday chat. So I think I might even be wearing the same jumper I wore last week. So if someone was listening to our last call, they can just continue listening to this one. I'm in the same getup. So let's continue to chat a bit more about Black Friday, and then I might jump into what we're trying to do to increase average order value for basically Black Friday sales and general sales on all sites. So yeah, let's talk about what you're looking at for Black Friday for larger scale clients, because I'm actually interested in hearing that.
Yeah, so I spoke to one of my clients in the week, and I kind of went through my plan of look, let's try and build a Black Friday dedicated landing page. And then after speaking to them, I realized that they literally have thousands of products that that are on sale during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and they'd already built these like individual Black Friday dedicated collection pages in the previous years. So my thinking was, for these kind of, when you've got a larger scale e-commerce sites, for those of you that are kind of working with larger scale sites, is have kind of a overarching Black Friday dedicated landing page, and then within that page you're linking out to dedicated Black Friday collection pages or category pages, and that's going to kind of pass a lot of authority through to the overarching Black Friday page, but also the individual collection pages. And what it means is you haven't got one page with thousands of products on. Even with a filter, it's going to be too overwhelming for the customer. So that would be my approach for a larger scale e-commerce store. And then kind of within that, we talked about last week having, your products listed on the page, and then underneath building out an FAQ section with kind of Black Friday questions. One of the tools that I love to use, and I posted it on our e-commerce marketing group earlier on Facebook, is Answer the Public, for finding questions that people are asking on Google. So you can literally just take your product keyword, put it into Answer the Public, and it's going to give you a list of relevant questions that people are searching for on Google.
I did see you mentioned Answer the Public, that they only let you do was it 3 free searches now? I remember back in the day there was never any cost. So when I saw that you said that they had a limit on searches now, I'm like, oh, every SaaS is either charging more or adding the lowest possible premium free kind of features it can before it extracts some money out of you. But this could be completely off. But did Neil Patel buy Answer?
Yeah, I was going to say you could thank Neil Patel for that. the serial entrepreneur. He's obviously wants to make some money out of it. That's actually his strategy. He for many years, in order to drive more traffic to his brand, he buys up a number of SEO SaaS tools.
Yeah, the popular free ones, and then starts charging people for them.
Yeah. So yeah, it's, to be fair, the the paid plan, it's like $11 a month, and you get 100 searches a day, which is not too bad. But you're right, there is there's so many costs involved with different apps, and it does soon stack up. So
How are you, so from your side, how are you implementing the FAQs on the page? Like, is your dev custom developing it onto pages, or are you using an app, like a FAQ app in Shopify? Like, how are they getting on there?
the main app we're using for page builders is Gem Pages.
And
um
that's got an
and that's
FAQ like drag and
yeah.
drop section, does it? Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's the main thing that one of my clients is working with. Um,
Because it was something that I'm curious on your thoughts on this. I'm actually thinking about trying to implement it on a product page level as well. Um,
yes, that's very good as well. Yeah,
because some of my clients have FAQs on their product page, but it's all about like their general questions for the whole store, about shipping cost, shipping timing. But say you're looking up, let's use the magnesium supplement as an example again. Say you're looking up a magnesium supplement. I would love an FAQ of, hey, what are the benefits of magnesium? How many times should I take this? Like, just general questions that people would actually ask about the supplement on the FAQ page to, I guess, give it some more SEO juice, but also if someone's not sure if it's right for them, reading those questions would hopefully break down any resistance barriers that they might have around whether it was right for them or not, and you know go through with the purchase. So something that I'm keen on testing as well.
yeah. I mean, it's a really good idea because it allows you to also rank for more keywords on the page. It tells Google that this is a clear association with this product. And actually, the alternative, if you don't want to use Answer the Public and you don't want to sign up to their pay plan, just simply type the keyword into Google. And if you go into the section called People Also Ask, you can see questions that people are asking related to your product. And you can use some of those questions and create answers for those questions. So that's kind of just a free hack to, if you've used up your 3 daily searches on Answer the
Yeah.
Public, just go onto Google and
This is where I find AI would become a really important tool in an SEO's pocket. I'm not saying use all SEO generated content, but if you think about how many products some of your clients have, a couple of thousand, you're not going to, well, you could, but it'd be months and months of work doing FAQs for every single product when there's products out there now like AI where you can give them a page, a description, all that, and be like, hey, find me the top 5 most asked questions about this particular product, and it can spit out potentially an FAQ section for you. AI is, in terms of that manual work, it's going to take a lot of the pressure off. And then rather than kind of doing it all yourself, you're going through those AI generated content pieces and just reviewing them and maybe
yeah.
making some tweaks, but it's not you coming up with 10 questions for every product. The questions are already there. You might just have to edit the answer a bit or change it around a bit, or this isn't factually correct. So just editing it from that sense, which is still going to take a lot of time, but a lot less time than thinking of all the questions that you need to ask for every individual product.
Yeah, you're right. It's a lot more scalable. I mean, the reality with SEO for e-commerce is it's once you understand the fundamentals, the work is not too difficult. It's more just time intensive, which is why typically if you're hiring a trusted SEO agency to do your e-commerce, they will they're typically going to charge more than a B2B service-based business because there's just far more content and SEO work involved given the sheer volume of pages, certainly with the larger scale sites. But obviously AI is helping with that. It's something that I'm, constantly trying to improve our systems and,
Do you think so? Basically, my thoughts are like just a standard, you know, Joe Blow using AI. It's probably not going to get the best results, but someone that like an SEO trained specialist that can feed like a GP, like a ton of data and say, hey, these FAQs need to be like this. These are the key things that we look for. These are 20 examples for different products that we've got. Make sure, the information that you're spitting out is like this. Like that's where the value comes from people's skills and training these AIs rather than like AI is only as good as the information that you give it at the moment. It's definitely improving, but it's still a lot based on how you prompt it, basically. So there's a lot to be said in using experience and knowledge and data especially that you have, to be able to get the best possible results out of those AIs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I have access to a plane, I could I could switch on a few buttons, but I'm not going to be able to fly it because I don't have the skill set to do it. It's the same with AI. You might have the technology there available to you, but if you don't understand the fundamentals of SEO and you don't have the experience, then yes, you're going to get you may get some results. But really, you do need someone who's got an extensive amount of experience with SEO that can then train the AI, and it's really used as a tool that can be leveraged for faster results and output. Really.
So back on the Black Friday campaign that you were setting up. So what kind of sale are they running that would need to be segmented at this level? Like obviously it's not a site-wide percentage, like flat percentage discount for everything, I'm guessing. If they're going at the collection level, is there different percentages off at different collections? Like, do you know the actual sale that they're running at the moment?
I don't as yet, no. And that's something that I need to be having discussions with my client on exactly what their sale is. So that's something that I need to be having a conversation with very soon.
So basically, they know which products they're gonna promote. The finer print on that promotion just hasn't been finalized yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Because yeah, for me, I know, like you said, you could put them all on one page and rely on a filter, which is probably what I would have done. But yeah, especially if it's a flat percentage off sale for the site, where your method of collections and breaking it all out makes sense is if there's different sales for different types of collections or different percentages off for different types of collections, because it doesn't make sense just to put them in all one big thing that's filtered. Then like if you can promote the actual percentage off on a range of products on a master Black Friday page, then yeah, that sounds like a good idea. If not, if it's a flat percentage off sale, I'd be tempted to use the filter still. Depends how much work you want.
Well,
people want to put in at this stage.
Yeah, I think the reality is they already had the pages set up.
Yeah.
From previous years, so I was like, well, this kind of makes sense. That let's have the overarching page. Let's link to these individual collection pages that are already set up. We just need to better optimize them. And yeah, maybe it's more work than it might be more work than I think it's going to be. But we'll see. Well, I want to experiment with this.
If they have like a flat percentage sale, then you'll be like, oh, like we probably could have got away with a filter, maybe. But
yeah,
it depends as well. So I find filters far more effective on desktop than mobile. I find them harder to navigate on mobile. So, and honestly, a large percentage of traffic around Black Friday or around any time really is coming from mobile. So it potentially makes sense to break it out into collections, especially if you've got a large product SKU.
Yeah, and I think there's also the opportunity to rank for those individual Black Friday pages, individual specific keywords as well, rather than just the overarching kind of Black Friday deals or whatever your keyword is / Black Friday.
This is another conversation I have with some clients. So they don't want to be involved in Black Friday. They don't want to have Black Friday sales. But the particular client that I had in mind, they already have like a clearance page on their site where the products are discounted. I'm like, let's just change the wording around Black Friday. So if people are coming to your site, they're going to be attracted to something that says Black Friday because they know it's at least discounted products. You've got a range of discounted products, so why don't you just put them under the Black Friday umbrella during the sales? That's another thing that pops up too. So people that don't want to get involved in Black Friday, it's usually like, oh, I don't have room to discount my products. And that's fair, but you haven't been very creative if that's like your limit of thinking. You don't have to discount your products. You might, if you're a fashion brand, you might throw in a free pair of socks with every order. There's some brands that are notorious. They don't discount, and the brand that I'm thinking of specifically for this, because my wife has bought a couple of them. It's a gumboot company called Merry People, and even on the discounts page it says we don't discount our products ever. So the price that you're paying now is the price that everyone's going to be paying, which I actually think is kind of smart because bargain hunter like me, like if they didn't say that, I would have been looking around everywhere for a discount code or the best price that I could get on a particular product. But the fact that they just say that flat out, like this is the best you're going to get, it's like, okay, well, I'll just buy it now then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like brutal honesty, isn't it? It's just like, look, yeah,
I
this
really
is the best
liked
price.
it. I thought it was refreshing. I hadn't seen it before. So, yeah, if someone wants to check that out, the brand was called Merry People. And yeah, they're like a coloured, stylish gumboot company. They basically make gumboots stylish so you could wear them anywhere, not just, on your farm, mud, ankle deep in mud. But yeah, so they're actually a really cool product. My wife Jodie, she wears hers a lot. Yeah, I really liked their marketing, and it's a great little business. So if you're looking businesses to model, they do a fantastic job in their email marketing and how they present their brand. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Merry People brand.
Nice. That sounds good. I have to check that one out. Was there anything else on Black? I'm just trying to think from my perspective. I think we probably covered a decent amount on Black Friday SEO for kind of larger scale e-commerce stores. Jimmy, what do you have on your list? What anything
So
in particular?
let's jump into average order value because it kind of rolls into Black Friday and in maximizing sales. So this is kind of what I'm looking into at the moment. So the things we're looking to implement on some clients' web pages are frequently purchased together little widgets at a product page level, but also on the shopping cart level. So when the products are in the cart, there's a lot of additional features. You got some upsells, you've got some downsells, cross sells, like everything you can possibly do to maximize the amount of revenue you're getting from someone coming through. And there's a little bar at the top of the cart saying, "Hey, spend this amount extra, and you'll qualify for free shipping." So if people are looking for the app that I am testing is actually it's built by an Aussie guy too, and I like his content. It's called Monster Apps, and I think it's just called Monster Upsell. That's the one that we're looking at the moment. It looks great, and I do know a few people that have actually used it. So I've spoken to them this week about what they thought about it, and and they said it's a great product, and we have seen significant increase in average order value from having it on our cart page. And their slogan when you hit the app page is receive 15 to 20% increase in average order value instantly. So they're obviously pretty confident that their product works, and from what I can see, it's a really good product. I actually went to kind of a marketing seminar not long ago, and the owner of Hero Packaging, which is another e-commerce store here in Australia, was kind of raving about this product as well, which put it on the radar for me even more. I'm like, well, if this company's using it, and they do fair volume, Hero Packaging. So Hero Packaging is like a kind of an eco-friendly kind of packaging company, and they do volume, they move volume. So if an app like that is good enough for their store, then it's definitely good enough for my client store. And yeah, definitely check it out, Charles. Like even I think let me just look up the website so I can. It's called monsterapps.shop. So if you guys want to check it out, go there, monsterapps.shop, and yeah, it'll give you kind of a really good insight into what it does. And if you scroll down on the homepage just a little bit, there's a thing that is called Monster Features, and it kind of outlines. So it's got the buy more and save more. So basically, if you're selling supplements, so this is a good one for supplements. It's like, hey, you've got one in your cart, but if you buy two, we'll give you 10% off both. So they're increasing the average cart value by getting another product in there and then offering a small discount for adding the second one. They've got one tick upsells. They've got frequently bought together. It's got its own cart designer, so you can make the checkout cart look exactly how you'd like. And it's got a powerful analytics platform as well that you can analyze in here as well. So yeah, nice. This is one of the apps that we'll be testing out for increasing average order value, and we'll also be looking to improve product pages and improving that kind of frequently purchased together. And this is one of the things that I've been looking into. Again, it's inspired from Amazon. They do it all the time. Whenever you're on a product page on Amazon, directly under that product, it's like people also bought this, this, and this. Buy all three together. It's kind of where it's inspired from. I think a lot of stuff is inspired from the big e-commerce players. If they're spending millions of dollars on testing and optimizing their site, then you can save yourself the money by just kind of analyzing what they're doing and which aspects of it you want to implement onto your own site.
Yeah, and they've been doing that for years, haven't they, Amazon, from what I can see. I probably bought a few of those.
I definitely have too. That's why it's so... Because you look at it, say... this is just an example, not something that I've done, but say you're buying like an electric toothbrush, and then it's like frequently bought together, this toothbrush with, 10 tubes of toothpaste, which are heavily discounted in this frequently bought together offer. I'll be like, oh yeah, like I can just stash these toothpaste. Yeah, sure. I'll just get both of those. That's a good one. Like, it's just stuff like that. Like, if you can make a no-brainer offer and make it super relevant to the product that they're looking at, like, hey, this couples really well with the product that you're looking at, then straight away you can attempt to increase the average order value of your cart. But also, I like the buy more, save more. That is especially relevant especially relevant, not irrelevant, especially relevant for supplement companies, which I do a bit of work with. So supplement companies is something that you can buy more than one of. Like if you're working with a car parts company, it probably doesn't make sense to buy more than one car bonnet if that's what you're looking for. So the buy more and save isn't relevant. So it's the buy more and save aspect is if you've got a product that people are constantly coming back for, like a consumable product or something that has high repeat customers, the buy more save more is a no-brainer. I'm thinking like dog food, pet snacks, like anything in this kind of consumable industry. The buy more save more is a great way to kind of increase your average order value.
Yeah, I like that one. I think that makes total sense for any kind of consumable health related product that, like you said, you're constantly reoccurring purchases. Makes total sense.
We'll leave average order value for them. I think that's covered most of it. And people want to do more research, go check out the Monsters app, monsterapps.shop. Go check that out and have it, see if it's right for you. It is a paid app, so I'll just say that now. It's not a free app. So I don't think they had a free tier. I'll just check, but I'm
surprised also, Jimmy, that Shopify have not integrated any of that functionality into kind of the standard.
I think they're starting to. I think they're starting to more and more. So I think recently they just introduced something for bundles and subscriptions. So they're moving that way. But Shopify, it's almost like the supermarket model, where is if there's a really high selling product in the supermarket will be like, oh, we want a piece of this and make a home brand version of it, and put it in the supermarket. Shopify's a bit like that too. If they go to their app store and be like, what are the most downloaded apps? And then they look at it, it's like, oh, everyone wants this. Let's just natively integrate it into Shopify.
Yeah, yeah. That I guess it's yes, but Amazon do the same, I think, as well, don't they? They see what products are selling the most
Oh,
and then create
100%.
their
And because Amazon 3PLs as well, a lot of companies actually just send their products to Amazon warehouses to be shipped out. A lot of that comes straight from the manufacturers. So Amazon would know exactly who their manufacturers are as well. So if the product's absolutely killing it, they've got all the information from the manufacturer as well. Then it's not going to take a whole lot of effort for Amazon to be like, hey, we're going to make our own version of this. We'll tweak it slightly and we'll undercut the original price.
yeah, sneaky, but I guess that is how they operate. I guess sometimes.
There's so many. I mean, there's so many marketplaces now, and e-commerce businesses are slowly going to a lot of them. The only issue with I have with them is some of them take like a ridiculous percentage of the product cost. Like some of them between like 15 and 20% of the sale cost. It's like, how can you make that work? Like I thought you said you had these margins, but they're just, yeah. So the marketplaces I honestly don't know how some businesses make it work, whether they only putting loss leader products on these marketplaces the thing is though, on a lot of these marketplaces, when they make a purchase from you, you don't actually get their details. Like you get their shipping address to send the product, but you don't get their email or anything else. So you're not actually building your own email client list. You're building it up for the marketplaces, and
Yeah,
that's why the
yeah,
marketplaces are so big now. They've got all the data. It's like
yeah,
they're getting products from some really good e-commerce stores, and they're just building up their email list off other people's products.
yeah. Well, that's why it's so important to build your own store, isn't it? Rather than just rely. And I know, having spoken to some, guys that are big on Amazon, a lot of them are moving away from Amazon, or at least they're diversifying with a Shopify store now as well, because they realize that, one, the margins aren't as good because Amazon are taking a cut, and two, they're not getting that data, which is so
Yeah,
valuable.
exactly. And it's the most important part, especially if you've got a product that has repeat customers. Like you can just keep reselling them on your email list. So if you don't have that email, you're at a massive, massive disadvantage. So the more data you can collect, and when I say data, I'm not talking about like data scraping a whole bunch of people. I'm like, people are coming to your site purchasing, you have their information to hopefully resell to them in future. Um, but yeah, like it's such an important part of the process, having your own customer list, because it just takes Amazon hiking the fees massively to make it not profitable for you and put you out of business basically on that platform. And if you have to start from scratch again on your own store with no customer data, it's going to be a slog. Even this week, I was having a conversation with a client this week who's also on eBay, and they just kind of vented their frustrations at eBay and how the seller always the buyer is always getting priority, and the fees are getting higher and higher with less and less service. So they're happy that they're building their own ecosystem, and seeing some really good results from it, and it's only going to continue to grow. So don't if you're on an e-commerce business and you're relying on one of these marketplaces, do something to diversify. Otherwise, you're putting your business at risk by not having control of your own traffic and your own customers.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned eBay. Reminds me when I was younger. I had a little side business where I used to go to an outlet center and buy like these designer kind of Adidas trainers, or
Of course,
do you call it trainers or sneakers in Australia?
Oh, we usually call them runners.
Oh, right. So it's another name. So sneakers in the US, but yeah.
It depends what it is. Like, we get the terminology sneakerheads, obviously, but yeah, if you're going, it depends what kind of shoe you're buying. Like, if you're buying a Nike Air Force One, you probably wouldn't call it a runner. You'd probably call it a sneaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you're going to buy a pair of sports shoes, you generally call them runners.
Fair enough. Well, yeah. So in the UK, we'd call them trainers mainly. But so I used to buy these, yeah, like Adidas Gazelles at a discount, and then put them on eBay and make a little markup on them. There was, yeah, for a while, me and a friend when we were at university, that was our little kind of side gig, and it worked for a
Oh,
while.
my mum used to do
So,
the exact same thing. She used to go to Jeans West and like clear everything off the 50 cent rack and then sell them for like $30, $40 a pop on eBay. I think her eBay rate, you know how on eBay you get like a rating based on how many things you sold? I think hers is around like 4,000 now. So
wow.
she
Yeah.
sold a fair few just from um a little home based thing that she's been doing for a few years. I think it keeps her occupied more than anything. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
something to keep the mind ticking over, keep you busy. So yeah, but yeah, these marketplaces, it's changed a lot since those days. I mean, you would have had to been making a fair markup, Charles, to cover the fees that are in place now. So
Yeah, I'd imagine it's wildly different. Wildly
and
different.
especially for sneakers, they have to go, especially if they're expensive ones, they have to go through sometimes eBay auth um authentication like services and all. Yeah, the sneaker world's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, there is. Back in the day, you used to be able to. Yeah, there was plenty of fake stuff. I don't know. I would imagine they've got a lot more stricter now, and they have clearer guidelines. But I can't even remember the last time I went onto eBay. Probably over a decade ago at least.
eBay's still quite a big marketplace in Australia, so it's still got pretty
Interesting.
decent
Yeah.
market share. And like a lot of the big like retailer e-commerce stores are actually on eBay. So I go on there every now and then. Sometimes they have really good sales, so I'll jump on there and get what I need off there. But um, yeah, the kind of the sentiment that I'm feeling around eBay at the moment is definitely shifting. Amazon's definitely got a foothold in Australia now, and I prefer to buy off Amazon because the shipping's so much faster than anything else. So yeah, it's
Yeah. I used to live.
eBay. eBay's on a
Sorry.
decline.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You used to
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
where, Charles?
No, no, I was just saying, I used to, yeah, when I was living in the UK, Amazon was literally the best thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
bet.
used to always. But isn't Amazon? They were only in recent years they came to Australia. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, it's I can't remember exactly how long, but it's probably maybe last 6 years or so.
Okay,
Maybe,
okay,
maybe.
yeah,
I can't remember. I just remember all the big chains here. Especially there's one called Harvey Norman here in Australia that they'd go all over the news saying how they'd never break into the Australian market. They won't be able to get the delivery infrastructure set up, and the delivery infrastructure's awesome. Like it's quick. They don't use Australia Post. They have basically like Uber drivers like delivering for them. It's yeah. They just pay their delivery drivers. So yeah, I've got no complaints with Amazon in Australia at the moment, but I think the marketplaces are just a much harder sell for e-commerce businesses at the moment because they're just demanding more and more fees and a higher and higher commission for selling their product on those marketplaces.
yeah. No, yeah, it doesn't. At some point, it doesn't make sense, does it, from an economics point of view?
I wanted to chat about the difference between because some people starting out they've got like a what I like to call like a hero product store. Like they've just designed one product. It solves a problem, but people are coming to their website to buy that one product, and that's it. Whereas, so I typically don't work with those clients. One because especially for the Google Ads side, there's a lot of creative that needs to go into it in terms of content creative, and it's more of a top of funnel approach if you're only selling one product and it doesn't have a lot of market traction already. I like to work with big data businesses so that have typically over 250 SKUs at a minimum 100. I like to work with. I like to look at data and see what's selling, what's not, manage budgets between large product SKUs. But the approach is completely different. So some people come to me and they're like, "Oh, Jimmy, you do Google Ads, right? I'm like, yeah, but not every e-commerce store is a good fit for me. But they're like, why? Isn't it all just the same? Aren't you just running ads? Like, yeah, sure, you're just running ads for all these companies, but the strategy is completely different. And there's a lot of different ad types you can use, a lot of different bidding strategies. And yeah, I like to use scripts and segmentation, but you can't do that with a one product store. So you can't segment one product out from one product. So yeah, completely different strategies. But I was curious from your point of view, Charles, the SEO differences. So I'll I'll rattle off the top of my head what I think they'd be, and then kind of if you want to add some additional stuff, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
So
sure.
for like my clients that have a lot of SKUs, I think there's a big importance on collections, collection descriptions, collection meta titles, kind of bringing in people not just to one product, but to a collection of products. Where if you're running a single product store, I feel like SEO would almost be like really authoritative guides on whatever you're selling, basically, like a really solid content piece. But also, I think if you've got one product, I think PR would come into it a lot. Like if you need to get traction, then you want to get shown in news articles, hey, this is this is the product, this is the problem it solves, this is why it's so great. I'm sure PR is good for large product skewed companies too, but you're not going to go to the PR and be like, well, we've got this whole range and it solves this problem for this whole range of problems. It's a different tactic. I think if a larger retail went to PR, it's more about the success that the overall business is having. I think if you're got a single product store, you really want to sell the features and benefits of that product and why it's different and why people would be interested in that particular product. What are your thoughts around, especially around like the single product stores? Like how would you approach it to basically get some traction in the SEO world when you've only got one product? So it's not like you can create descriptions and everything for a whole bunch of products and collection titles. Like where are you going with one product?
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be definitely different. And I'm the same as you, Jimmy. I typically work with larger scale kind of e-commerce stores that have got, yeah, at least 250 products. Having said that, I have also kind of consulted and advised for kind of single product stores, or at least stores that have got, maximum two or three in their product line. And what I always say to them is obviously get those pages optimized, those product pages optimized. But really, the bulk of the work and the strategy is going to be building kind of that top of the funnel content. So building out your content hubs, like you talked about, you're building your guides, your blogs, your resources, that's going to help drive more kind of what I call top of the funnel traffic and allow you to rank for more keywords. So Google then sees you as an authority around that topic or industry or product. And then from those guides or blogs, you can then link to those individual product pages, which is going to help them rank higher up Google as well. And then, yeah, incorporate some PR, I think is definitely useful, and it's going to help build more awareness as well as generate more backlinks to the site, which, backlinks are still a strong ranking factor in the eyes of Google. You could also experiment by building some guest blogs, so writing on other websites, and I would then point links from those guest blogs to your guides or resources pages rather than your product pages. It just looks it's more natural, and Google are less likely to kind of look at those links as spammy. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more content strategy in terms of informational style content and building more backlinks in the form of PR, guest blogs. I'd even, if you have a personal brand, I would even be getting on podcasts, because not only helps to, spread the message about your brand and your product, but also what happens when someone publishes a podcast. It's usually syndicated across a number of different websites and then links back to the guest's website. So again, that's another link building opportunity.
That's a good one. I didn't even think of that. No, jumping on podcasts. Even I'm massive on giveaways and competitions, so I think I'd definitely be going down that route for not SEO purposes, but just building a list. I think that's how I would start any e-commerce business: run a promotion, build a list. Like if someone said, "Jimmy, how do I start an e-commerce store?" Give away your product in a competition and build a list. Like 101. That's how I'd start every single one. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe me and Charles can think, we're looking to grow our Facebook community as well. Maybe we can think of a giveaway that we can potentially give away that would be valuable to an e-commerce owner to help drive more people to that community and show people how it works, basically. But yeah, something, there you go, Charles. It's something we can discuss later.
Yeah. Something in the works. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it today because I had another instance where I got contacted and this person's e-commerce store was just not a good fit for me, and I just told them that straight, and they're like, and it was like, oh, you've come highly recommended. Is it something that you would explore? And just like, I mean, I could, but it's just not my expertise. Like, I like working with clients where I can 100% know that I'm going to get them the results that they're after. And the business that you're presenting me at the moment is not one that I typically work with, so the strategy changes, and I don't know how it's going to play out in the short term. So with the clients that I do work with, I can almost guarantee a business with over 250 products is going to see an improvement in results if they work with me. So it's just sticking to your lane. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard especially when you're starting out and you're building that revenue for your business, because you just want to take on everything to kind of build that initial revenue. But then, I mean, I've nearly been in business. I've been in business about 9 years now, so well and truly past that stage where it's like, okay, I want to save myself the headaches. I only want to work with clients that are a perfect fit for what I have to offer. And yeah, I mean, that's chopped and changed over the years. I've changed niches. I've niched down a little bit, but yeah, I always like to stick into my lane. But even now, like I'm doing the Google Ads stuff, and now I'm starting to branch off into more e-commerce coaching stuff and providing a more full service, but I'm working with freelancers on those full service arrangements. Like I won't be the one doing your Facebook ads, or I won't be the one doing your email marketing, like, or your SEO. Like I'd be handballing that off to someone like Charles under that full stack arrangement. But yeah, like the types of clients that I'm taking on are pretty set, and I'm pretty brutal. It's just like, no, sorry, this isn't a good fit, but I can recommend you to someone that I trust that works more with these type of clients and would probably be a better fit for you.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to do it, isn't it? And I think people appreciate the honesty. It's the same with what if I get occasionally I'll get more of a B2B style service-based business approach me, and I say, look, I don't work with those type of businesses anymore, but I do have an agency that I know and trust and I can recommend. So yeah, I think people appreciate that, rather than you take it on and then it's different to what you're used to, and usually it becomes a headache because you're having to put in systems and processes that are different to what you're used to. So
yeah, 100%. That's what it is. Actually, another thing that just popped into my mind, and this is kind of on the Black Friday train again, but it's to do with like underutilized traffic sources. So basically, come Black Friday, like the three pillars for paid, like pay to play, pay to show your ads. The three big ones are going to be Google, Meta, and TikTok. But there's a lot of other places that you can explore or at least test, especially like hardly anyone, especially in Australia, is advertising on Twitter or exploring Pinterest. Pinterest is a massively undertapped one, and if you can get it right, especially if you've got a visually appealing product or in the homeware space or, kids clothing or things like that, if you've got a visually appealing product and you're not at least exploring Pinterest, then massively undertapped. There's a lot of opportunity. This is not the pay-per-click space, but there's a lot of opportunity to get organic traffic from Reddit with a good
Yeah,
strategy at the moment.
not to mention that.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, well,
yeah,
it's a massive opportunity to get some good traffic there, especially if you've got a product and your competitors have like really bad reviews on something. You can almost go in there and say, "Yeah, I found the same thing with this product. This is the alternative that I'm using," and plug your own product. But Reddit's quite protective of their community as well. So if you've just created a new account and your first post is sales post, like it's not going to go too well for you. So go on there, start getting involved with the community and build a profile up before you start doing that kind of stuff. What other traffic sources we got? Threads is I've seen a few people
Threads,
talk
yep.
about Threads this week. Not so much the paid side. I'm not even sure. I haven't even explored the paid side of You've used Thread a few times, Charles. Do they have ads on there yet or not?
Not that I know of. Organically, I've used it a little bit. I've not significantly. I mean, I think that Twitter or X, whatever we're calling it these days, I think that's going to become more popular. I think just purely the fact that Elon Musk owns it, he's got a big personal brand. People buy into his, or some people do anyway, buy into his ethos. I think that's only going to get bigger, and as a kind
Yeah,
of
I've even
alternative
noticed my
to
own
Meta.
habits. I've been, going on there a bit more lately, and it's a lot to do with who you're following. Like I follow a lot of e-commerce marketing people, and I like seeing what they're testing, what they're doing, what's working for them. So the content on there is actually interesting to me. So, but Threads isn't. I watched a webinar on Threads this week actually, and how much traffic they were generating organically just from solid strategy, and it was actually really surprising to me that they were able to generate that much traffic, or how quickly they were able to grow to 10,000 followers just posting value posts. So yeah, there's definitely an active community on there. It's one of those things. I know when Instagram started off, it was be like, oh, I should have just stuck at it and built a community from the start, because now it's massive. Threads has the potential to do that. I'm not sure if it will, but one thing I know for sure is never go again like back against Facebook, because they always kind of find a way to make it work. So uh,
Yeah.
if you're hot on Twitter and you're building a good following there, it's just makes sense to kind of use the same content strategy to go over to Threads as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, oh yeah, never write off Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
He's a
mate, the guy's a
he's a
genius.
yeah. He's also well, I've been impressed by him on a completely different subject, the way that he's evolved his personal brand.
Yeah,
And he's gone from kind of this kind of pretty unpopular geeky type individual to, he's training in MMA
MMA.
and he's
Yeah,
mixing with the fighters and like, he's dressing better and he's looking more hip and I thought
I
that's
see him on those hydrocoil like surfboard things out in
yeah,
whatever ocean he's surfing all the time. I'm just like, you know what? Good on him. Like,
yeah,
I mean, for building a company like that, it's nice to see people like that enjoying the fruits of their labor and not just stuck in corporate world all the time.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
yeah, I think I didn't have anything else to really cover tonight, Charles. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on quickly, or?
No, I don't think so. I think we got through a decent amount tonight. Yeah,
Well, let's plug the Facebook group. So e-commerce marketing community on Facebook. So you'll find us there. Growth has been a bit stagnant lately, so me and Charles have got to figure out a way to fix that, whether it is a promo or run some paid ads ourselves to that group. But yeah, we want to continue to grow that. Both Charles and myself are posting in there weekly, and anyone that's got any questions, we're trying our best to give them the most data-filled and experience-based answers possible in there as well. So come say hi in there if you've got an e-commerce store and you need some help. Drop some questions, and we'll help you where we can.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
See you guys. Bye.